The Trump transition inauguration 16 days away. Plenty of action already. Overnight, another tweet from the president-elect taunting the intelligence community about those claims of Russian hacking the election. As WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange denies his leaks came from Russia. Our chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross is here with the story. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, George. Overnight, Donald Trump claimed via Twitter that the long-awaited report on who hacked the Democratic Party had been delayed and will now be delivered to him this Friday.
In his Twitter post, Trump continued to cast doubt about the role of the Russians. Perhaps more time needed to build a case, he wrote. Very strange. And now Trump is being joined in his skepticism by the man who's been hiding out in this embassy in London for the last 4 years. Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, appearing on Fox with Sean Hannity.
We can say, we have said repeatedly over the last 2 months that our source is not the Russian government and it is not a state party.
But the head of the CIA says, in effect, Assange doesn't know what he's talking about, that it was the Russians.
This report is going to include what it is that we know about what happened, what was collected, what was disclosed, and what the purpose and intent of that effort was.
And officials say it's equally clear the embarrassing Democratic Party emails were delivered to WikiLeaks by a middleman for the Russians, or what spies call a cutout.
There's no way that Assange would have any idea who was behind dropping this information off. The Russian intelligence services are clearly capable of hiding their tracks, of using a cutout to provide this information to WikiLeaks.
So now the president-elect finds himself strange bedfellows with Russian President Putin and WikiLeaks founder Assange, who delivers a message much like that of Trump's transition team.
They're trying to delegitimize Trump administration as it goes into the White House.
Whether Assange is a knowing participant or what the Russians call a useful idiot, that's hard to tell. But nonetheless, the Russians were very much behind the hacking and the dumping of this information.
And officials tell ABC News this morning both President Obama and the president-elect will receive their copies of the classified report with a briefing on Friday, George.
But there do seem to be some cross wires here. It appears that the president-elect and members of his team were under the impression that this briefing was coming early in the week, probably yesterday.
That's right, but intelligence officials tell us this morning there was never a plan to give it any time before Friday. Friday was always the date. There was no delay. They're not sure what he's talking about, whether it's a simple miscommunication or part of the growing sense of mistrust that Mr. Trump is fueling with his Twitter messages.
Okay, Brian Ross, thanks very much.